Good morning. I'm Clara Casanueva, and I, along with Liam Kurzbergen, Teresa Fidalgo, Giovanni Bola, Francesca Rossi, and Diego Marcos, will be talking to you guys about our business idea called iButton. So first, I will be talking about our concept, and then explaining the pros and the cons. Then we will, of course, do a cost analysis and then derive a conclusion from there. So first, our concept is iButton. So this is a platform where customers can find any button for any garment of choice, or even customize a button. So this, you may be wondering, why do we need this? So this is a painkiller for men and women who may need to replace a button or may struggle to find a replacement. So the way we came up with this idea is because the other day Diogo was play fighting with his friend, and Diogo likes to wear a lot of smart shirts. And he was play fighting with his friend, and he accidentally broke a button, and then he went to a place to replace the button, and the guy said to him, "Sorry, we don't have an exact button for your shirt, but we can give you this, blah blah blah." And we decided to make this business because it is true that if you lose a button, it is very hard to replace it sometimes. So with our business, you simply go to an app and then insert the brand or the model of the garment that you're looking for, and you will be able to print the exact button you want, or you can make your own. So our target market for iButton is predominantly male, 18 and above, middle to high income, and professional, like have a professional life, or students.
Okay, so iButton has several advantages. Our company idea would fix a lot of problems. One of them is freedom of design. So basically, you can design whatever button you want. It could be like a circle, it could be like a hexagon, it could have 4 circles in the middle, smaller, bigger, or different colors. And an example is the 2 buttons in the middle of the first slide. Well, those are different designs, and you can't see the change in color, but that's how we designed them, and that's an example. Then accessibility, because you could go to any store whenever you lose a button, and you could change it and design the new one exactly like the other ones, and therefore it would fix a lot of issues. It waste reductions because it only prints the material that it's gonna need, therefore there's no reduction, and that makes it a lot better for the environment.
Okay, as Teresa explained the advantages of iButton, I'm gonna talk about the cons. So we have 4 cons. The first one is limited materials. So 3D printing is not yet versatile enough to work with most materials. Firstly, 3D printing produces parts in a limited selection of plastics of different mechanical properties, but also some other 3D printers work with metal, but which is also limited in selection. The second one is large volumes. So if you need a large number of parts to be produced, for example, anything bigger than a couple hundred units, 3D printing is not the best production process. So when you're seeking to produce large volumes, it may be more cost effective to injection mold the part. However, while the initial investment for injection molding may be much higher than the one of 3D printing, the cost per unit becomes significantly cheaper when producing large volumes. Thirdly, our third cons is questionable accuracy. 3D printing is primarily prototyping technology, which means that parts created via through the technology are mainly test parts. And as with any test part, the dimensions have to be very precise in order for engineers to get an accurate read, or like whether it is feasible or not to produce that part. And finally, the technology, 3D printing technology, is costly. It is very expensive to afford 3D printing hardware, software, and the material to use. Industrial 3D printers cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So which is like can be a count in the production. However, the cost of 3D printing often depends on the amount of the materials used. For example, big orders are expensive, while small products are cheaper to print. So it means like since we're producing bottoms, it's gonna be cheaper than anything else.
The question remains, why use 3D printed buttons instead of normal manufactured buttons? Well, after doing a cost analysis between the two methods, we've concluded a few things. Manufactured buttons are produced most efficiently at larger scales of productions. This is because of economies of scale and that factories have employed a high amount of fixed assets in order to be able to produce specialized buttons at a large scale and a very low cost. It can cost up to €7.50 to produce a single button, but if you're producing in the thousands, each button can cost only 30 cents. This is why 3D printed buttons can be a superior option at a lower scale. There is a cheaper option of printing one button using ASA material that only costs $5.99, and there are more expensive options for higher quality materials. 3D printed buttons allow iButton to be versatile, where factories are rigid when it comes to certain things. Style, size, and design of the button are completely flexible when it comes to 3D printing. However, when it comes to factories, these factors are much less flexible and much less likely to be able to constantly change. Considering the nature of the business producing for customers that do not have a high quantity needs and only want to replace or make buttons for a singular shirt, it is a business that can thrive doing so and make higher margins doing so. So to conclude the cost analysis, 3D printed buttons are better at a lower scale of production, and manufactured buttons are better at a higher scale of production.
Hello. So after looking at the customer need and the customer problem and measuring all the feasible solutions between traditional and 3D printing manufacturing, we concluded that the company should use 3D printing. So we basically suggest that iButton creates an application that allows their users to print any model of any shirt at any 3D printing shop. We analyzed different 3D printing tools such as Multijet, SLS, SLA, and even stainless steel, and we concluded that Multijet, for now, is the best tool for iButton. The reason for this is because it's the cheapest one, the most accessible one, and the most efficient one. We concluded that using 3D printing brings a very powerful competitive advantage for the company, which is there is no need to storage inventory. This is revolutionary for the button industry, since buttons are usually produced in large economies of scale. This way, in fact, the company is able to have optimal demand and supply. Finally, another very important reason for 3D printing is that it allows the customer to fully customize any button, thus creating shapes and colors that were never possible with traditional manufacturing. Thank you very much.